Alright, so we just finished watching WrestleMania 30, and in our opinion, one of the greatest WrestleManias ever. Now, for the first match, it's from the pre-show, the 2-hour pre-show, I might add. It's a Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Championship elimination match for the Tag Team Championship.
Oh, and by the way, we've watched the pre-show. What I love about the WWE Network is we watched it on the go. We weren't home, and we didn't have to worry about rushing home to catch the pre-show because we watched it on our device, which was great, which is what I love about the network. I could be anywhere and still catch all the action, which was great. So we got back. As a matter of fact, we watched the show. We watched the pre-show. We watched the match. And what did you think of the match?
It was a great match. It was a pretty good pre-show match. Most of the pre-show matches they have nowadays aren't really as good, but this one was pretty good.
Yeah, and I think the WWE has done a good job with trying to build up the tag team division again, and I think having the Usos win the match, which spoiler there, they won and retained the titles. I think that's great because what's been going on over the last few months with the tag team titles has been great for the division, and I think we've only begun to see kind of a resurgence of the tag division, right?
Mm-hmm. Let me add that. The other three tag team contestants were the Real Americans, Jack Swagger and Notorious Cesaro, Ryback and Curtis Axel, and the Los Matadores, Primo and Epico.
Yeah, and by the way, we talked about this, the Ryback thing. I think they could have been a little creative with the name of their team, so I don't really dig that. And then for the Real Americans, another spoiler for whoever hasn't seen it yet. At the end of the match, it seemed like they continued the storyline of trying to break those guys up. And Cesaro, I think Cesaro is going to get a push as an individual wrestler. So watch that match. And I for the champions, I think the Usos did a good job. And I think those two guys, you can tell. What I like about tag team wrestling is when you have two guys who are kind of gel together and they've been partners for a long time, and it's obvious in their work. And I think the Usos are doing a good job, and it was great to get the tag team titles in their hands. So after that, the show started, WrestleMania 30, and it was great because Hulk Hogan was the host. He came to the ring, and it was, I think, three of the best superstars ever: Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, and none other than the Rock, and it was a great start off to the show. The crowd was electrified and ready to go. What did you think about that?
Great promo.
Yeah. What was next?
The next match was Triple H versus Bryan. The winner gets to be entered into the main event of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match against Randy Orton and Batista.
And I think it was a great start of the show. I mean, that was awesome because you started off with a great match, and it was a great match between Daniel Bryan and Triple H. And it got the crowd going, and obviously with the Yes Movement, I mean, Daniel Bryan has the crowd and has had the crowd behind him for a long time. So having him start off the show, and what was the result?
Daniel Bryan won.
He won. It was a great match. It was good. I mean, I was kind of surprised at how great it was. It could have been a main event match. And so it was a great job by Triple H, who hasn't wrestled in a little bit.
Since WrestleMania last year.
Yeah, so having him and Daniel Bryan go at it was great. It was a great storyline. They did, it was a great match, some great moves, and it was really entertaining, got everyone going. After that, what did we see?
We saw the Shield versus the New Age Outlaws and Kane.
Yeah, this one I have to admit I was too busy tweeting and didn't really get to watch much of it. It was kind of a short match, which was kind of disappointing. I would have preferred to see what we saw at the last pay-per-view, which was the
Wyatts.
Shield versus the Wyatts. And I will say the one thing I was looking forward to in this match was Seth Rollins, because ever since that match versus the Wyatts, him and Luke Harper are two breakout stars in my mind. So Seth Rollins, I was looking forward to, and he didn't disappoint. I mean, he had one move where he went through the ropes, and just watch the match. It was really short, but Seth Rollins again showed that he's a breakout star. After that, what did we have?
The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
This one was kind of weird because everyone but two superstars were already in the ring. But what I won't do is, I'm not going to spoil it, but you have to watch this match because Kofi Kingston does another amazing move. We're not going to tell you what it is, but it was another one that had us, what? It had us...
Shock and awe.
It had us shocked. I mean, it was unbelievable. And who ended up winning at the end? It was...
Antonio Cesaro.
And who else? It was the Big Show, right?
You said who ended up winning.
No. I said who. Well, who was that?
The two last men were the Big Show and Antonio Cesaro.
Yeah, and it was a great finish to the match. It'll remind you back to what was the WrestleMania
3.
WrestleMania 3, where the Hulkster body slammed
On the
Andre the Giant. So watch the match and watch for the ending. Watch for Kofi Kingston. After that, what did we have?
We have the Bray Wyatt and John Cena match.
This was actually a pretty good match. What did you think about it?
It reminded me of about 2 years ago when Kane first came back with his mask and was trying to embrace the hate of John Cena for the Rise Above Hate campaign he was doing.
Yeah, I think everyone is looking for John Cena to change his character just a bit because, I mean, he pretty much is booed by everyone, and I understand he's a prototypical good guy. It's just, you could tell that, you know, a change would be good for him, but at the same time, it might be difficult because in this match, I could tell that they were trying to play with that, you know, with the embrace the hate type thing, and it just didn't seem natural for John Cena. So who knows? I mean, I don't know. Can he change his character? Can he go in a darker way? Or is he just, you know, John
nice.
Cena and hustle, loyalty, and respect? And so who knows? It's kind of a weird thing because I'm one of the first ones who wanted him to kind of go to a darker side, but then seeing this match, I'm like, well, you know what? I don't know if I would like John Cena in that, you know, in that way. I think there's something to be said for how many years he's done this and how many years he's done the good guy character. So, anyways, watch this match. It was a really good match, and the Wyatts are just getting better and better and better. And this match doesn't disappoint. What was after that?
Undertaker and Brock Lesnar.
This one has to be the shocker of the night. And if you haven't heard already, what was the end result?
Brock Lesnar defeated The Undertaker.
So here's the issue I have with that. For me, I think The Undertaker's legacy is the streak.
The prestigious, bigger than the WWE Championship, bigger than the Royal Rumble, the biggest thing in WWE, the biggest thing in sports entertainment today.
And so my problem with that is that someone pointed out on Twitter, Michael Cole's undefeated at WrestleMania and The Undertaker's not. That should tell you exactly how the crowd reacted. But you have to watch this on the WWE Network when it's available because the crowd reaction is like no other. I mean, this is one of those classic historical moments that if you weren't there, if you didn't see it live on TV, you're going to kick yourself because this is one of those moments where 10, 20 years down the road, you're going to say, I remember that, and I remember the crowd and the reaction. And
it was quiet. When we were watching it, we didn't notice that. We saw the ref count to 3, but we didn't notice he lost until it just went completely silent. No one said a word.
Yeah, because I think, you know, when they're counting the Undertaker, you don't ever think that he's going to lose. So it took everyone a bit of a few minutes to kind of realize, like, hold on a second, he just lost. And so you have to watch. It was a great match. It was a good match. It's just it was a shocker. So the shocker of the night.
The next match was the Vicky Guerrero Divas Championship Invitational.
Yeah, which I feel bad for the Divas because it came at the wrong time because it came right after that big, huge letdown and disappointment on the Undertaker losing the streak. So everyone was still kind of in shock. And, you know, the Divas, it takes them a while to kind of get going, especially with so many in there. There were so many missed marks and things like that. What I will say is that the Bella Twins did a great job. The Bella Twins, at one point towards the end, really got in there and did some great moves and kind of got the crowd a little bit more excited, but they were booing through the whole match, and you know it's unfortunate because I think what the WWE is doing with the tag division, they need to do with the Divas division and kind of, you know, take it to another level and rework it so that you can get the Divas working better matches. And
my younger brother pointed out that when he was watching it, he counted to when he counted to 1, the ref counted to 3, and he started the same time that Brock Lesnar pinned him. So, if they do, you know, try to fix what happened, I have a feeling
you're talking about the Undertaker match?
I have a feeling it's going to be something about the refs screwing up like they've done in the past, and saying that Brock Lesnar never beat the Undertaker.
After the Divas match was the main event, which was Randy Orton, Batista versus Daniel Bryan, who was in the match because he beat Triple H earlier in the first match of the
Night
pay-per-view. Yeah. And so, what did you think about that match?
It was good, but not as good as some of the other matches before.
Yeah, the thing was, everyone was kind of wondering, could Daniel Bryan win, because he the Authority kept, keeping him down, and would they allow him to win? Now, because of what happened to The Undertaker, anything is possible at this point, because no one thought The Undertaker would ever lose, so, it was kind of suspenseful, and it was kind of not spectacular at the beginning, but then it really kicked into high gear once they broke some of the tables, the announce tables, and then from there, it really took off. And there was a nice twist in the match with Daniel Bryan being carted off on a stretcher before finishing the match. So that was a good match. I would definitely watch the whole pay-per-view. It was good. I mean, for all the matches, I think the Divas match could have been better. It had some surprise moments with the Bella Twins. I think, what was the other match that could have been better? The short one with the Shield. I almost would have preferred the Shield versus the Wyatts again for WrestleMania, because I think it would have been a much better match, and that way you could have had just one match that wasn't spectacular. But for the most part, when you look at it, just two matches weren't great. Other than that, I think it was a good night, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, definitely one of the better WrestleManias. For me, I love the night before, that we could watch the Hall of Fame in its entirety. I mean, in the past, they would film the Hall of Fame, and then we'd get the Hall of Fame on TV, but it would be shortened and you don't get to see everything. We were able to see every induction, and it was great. I mean, for me, my favorite part of the Hall of Fame was Jake the Snake Roberts. He was real honest, and he was very vulnerable and
not boring.
And he wasn't boring, and I mean, he just was to the point, showed emotion, showed how important, wrestling was to him, how, his demons that he came back from, and what this really meant to him. So I thought that was spectacular. But then again, you got to remember, Jake the Snake Roberts was what? He was great on the microphone. So emotion tied to that skill of being good on the microphone, I think it was a great job. What did you think of the Hall of Fame?
It was good up until the beginning.
Yeah, there were a few speeches that were kind of
long.
Not only long, but had us kind of confused. I mean, Lita was kind of long-winded. Mr. T was kind of strange, talking about his mom the most time, and then they cut him off, so you might as well just let him go. And then, I can't say the Ultimate Warrior was a shocker, because he's kind of all over the place, but it was definitely one of the better classes of inductees. I mean, everyone was a superstar, and I think it was great. Razor Ramon was nice, short, to the point. Mm-hmm. And so I think it was a good Hall of Fame. Great WrestleMania 30 weekend. We look forward to WrestleMania 31, which will be in Northern California. And so we'll see, how that goes. So what do you have to say?
Nothing.
So this is Victor, Brandon, Wrestling Tonite. Leave your comments. Let us know what you think of WrestleMania 30, and see you next time.